Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys are having a great Sunday. Happy weekend. I know here in Gurney it's raining. But anyway, my name is Alonzo here at Fit Life Training Studio, and I help moms 30 and over who have struggled to lose weight and struggle with that inner confidence get results that they want and deserve. So hopefully you guys got a chance to watch my video earlier this week on the mom pouch, if you will. That core training of how to fix that diastasis recti after pregnancy, which is your number one enemy for most of you after pregnancy. If you struggled with that pouch that's still right here, or whatever you want to call it, struggle to get that back together, if you will. That video, hopefully if you watched it, if you haven't, go back and watch it, will help you start getting that happening. All right. Now, this video here is going to be what to do while you're pregnant. Like, when you find out you're pregnant, that leading up to the birth, how to keep that core strong that will also help benefit the pregnancy, help it make it hopefully a little bit smoother. It's never really smooth. It's always going to, I was there for both of them, and it was, okay. It was eventful. But hopefully keeping that core strong and healthy and making that post-pregnancy recovery a little bit better. And hopefully how to prevent that diastasis recti, which separates that abdomen when you go through pregnancy. So in this video, what I'm going to do is help those moms who are pregnant right now and how can they train core but do it effectively. As always, when you're pregnant, and you're training core, you want to avoid things like crunches and things like bicycles, ab machines, and things of that nature, because that crunching motion, it ain't good for the baby, and it's not good for you. So we want to help you, I want to help you do exercises that are going to be beneficial for you, that's going to help you, that's going to make that core stronger, make you stronger throughout this pregnancy. All right, so I'm going to go over 3 core exercises you can do, and also go over 3 strength movements you can do that also are going to help you as well. So during this time, to give you a heads up, I'm going to be turning the camera and things like that, so you guys can see what I'll be doing. And if you guys have any questions along this way, I'm going to flip the camera around at the end to answer any questions you may have. All right, but the 3 core exercises we're going to be going over, again, as always, these are my 3. There are a ton more out there. These are just the 3 that I picked that are pretty easy for you to do, and mostly any mom or soon-to-be mom can do them. So, 3 exercises I picked are the Woodshop. No, you don't have to go and get a log of wood. Don't worry about that. The second one is a bird dog. You don't need a bird or a dog. It's just the name of the movement. And the next one is a prone plank. All right? So you can go over those 3 core exercises. And then we're going to go over 3 strength movements, which is one is going to be a standing row. Next one's going to be a modified deadlift. Next one's going to be farmer's walks. All right, we're going to go through these 6 movements. And as I'm going through each one, I'm going to do my best to explain how to do them, what you want to focus on, how they should be done. All right. So if you like this video in the process of watching, please give me a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. Like, love, share with other moms you may know, other friends you may know. Anyone who you think is, no, don't do it if you think they're pregnant. Only if you know they're pregnant. Anyone who is pregnant, share the video with them, because it hopefully will provide them with some helpful tools, helpful advice. All right, ladies. So, number 1, we're going to go through 3 core exercises. So I'm going to turn the camera around, and we're going to go from there. Here we go. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Stay with me here, ladies. Again, like I said, I'm going to be turning this camera and adjusting it so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. Well, there's no guessing game involved here. All right. Perfect. All right. So the first exercise we're going to be going through is the wood chop. Now, the purpose of the wood chop is kind of like it involves a squat and that internal-external oblique rotation. Now, I know, and then disclaimer on this, if your doctor gives you clearance to do these things, great. Always make sure you're checking with your doctor as you're going about these exercises, because at some point you say, hey, we don't want you doing those for whatever reason, don't do those things. But hopefully you'll be able to do one of these three that are going to help benefit you, okay? So the first one is the Woodshop. And what it is that you're simply, right, you're relying on this motion and coming up to this motion, right? Now, with this, you're getting that internal, external oblique, that twisting motion, and as well as you're not getting that crunchy motion with this way, all right? But you're working on keeping those obliques tightened. And you can use a dumbbell or you can use a band. I'm going to show you both just in case. So if you have a dumbbell, you can hold it however you see fit. You can hold it this way, or you can hold it this way. I like to hold it this way. And all you're doing is rotating down, coming up, twist. Back to center. Rotate down, down, come up, twist. Back to center. So again, it's that wood chopping motion, right? So here. So that's the first one. It's the wood chop, right? The next one we're going to go through is the bird dog. Now, let's go over with the band. So if you don't have weights at home, you have a band, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to want to stand on stand majority on one end. Keep this one here. With this one, it's going to turn. Now, you want to make sure that you're staying back on those heels when you do that squat. Everyone squats differently, so if you need to be a little bit wide, whatever it is, the most important part you want to do is breathe. Number one, be able to breathe. And two, when you squat down, keep those heels down. And you don't need to squat butt to floor. But you want to squat deep enough to where you feel your legs working. And when you come up, those obliques work. So as you twist, here and here, right? All right, then do the same thing when you switch sides. So again, come off the band, switch sides, step on it, here, all right. Now sometimes people will say, hey, rotate my foot. How do I do? If you want to rotate your foot, if you have a dumbbell, yeah, it is. But if you rotate your foot with the band, your foot's going to come off. Well, I guess you can, as long as you keep that foot kind of on there. All right, that's the first one, wood chop. All right, the next one is going to be a bird dog. All right, so let me make sure that you guys can see when I do this, because it's going to be down on the floor. Turn it that way, make sure you guys can see, it's going to be down on the floor. Now, the purpose of the bird dog is, again, to get the core kind of active. Now, when you do this, it's going to be in this motion, right? On all fours. Now, as you do this, you're not trying to do anything spectacular. You can do, it's ways you can do and build up. So you can go one hand at a time, which is a modified bird dog. That's modified. Now the full bird dog is you're going opposite hand. So I'm going right hand with my left leg. So plant. Plant. All right, now that's the bird dog. Now with that one, again, it's still a core movement. There's not any crunching, any leg raises, any twisting, rotation. It's just keeping that core engaged through the pregnancy. Now, the last thing I'm gonna do is the prone plank, which is pretty much plank on hands. Now, with this one, very simply, you wanna keep those shoulders underneath, those hands underneath your shoulders. Now, as those feet go back, me personally, I like to keep my hands, my feet in line with my hands. So when I go to a prone plank, it looks like this, right? Or you go modified to here. Either one. Now, the full on prone plank with the legs straight out, that's going to put a little bit more pressure here in the core. So that might be safer for when you're in that first trimester. Second trimester may be a little bit tough, but again, always check with your doctor. Always check with your doctor when you're doing exercises, because he could say that, hey, we recommend you don't do them because you may be high risk or things of that nature, all right? But again, if that is the case, hey, say, doc, here's these exercises I'm doing. Are they okay? Are they safe? Show him what you're doing. He could say, oh, that's great, that's perfect, awesome, all right? Now, moving on to 3 strength movements, all right? I'm gonna move on to 3 strength movements that you can do that are going to help in this process. Again, like I said, guys, I'm gonna be moving the camera around so I can make sure that I get each one of these movements for you. All right. So now here is the standing row. If you have a band, you can get them off Amazon. They're about 10, 15 bucks. Well, about 12, depending on which resistance you go with, right? So now with this, it works the core as well. Even though you may not think it does, it still does. So all you're gonna do is take a few steps back, right? Find your resistance level. You're gonna squat down, keeping the core nice and tight, right? Now as you pull, you wanna pull those shoulders, those arms back. Now, you may not think of when you pull back, you have to keep that squat, keep those hips, engage the core. Every single time you pull in back, it's not squeezing, it's just tighten the core a little bit tighter. You can do a variations of this you can do, right? You can do both arms. You can do a single arm while you hold the other. You can do alternate. Pull one, pull the other. Pull one, pull the other. All right? So that is the standing row. Now, next is going to be a modified deadlift on this one. Now, this is one that it may sound scary, but I promise you it's not. All right? So, as you see, I have these 2 boxes here that are, again, I'm a taller person, so it can be a little different for me. But I have 2 boxes, and the deadlift is simply, I'm standing up, a hip hinge movement, right? You come in here, a hip hinge. When hip hinge means these are my hips, I'm hinging at the hips and coming forward, all right? Again, guys, if you're enjoying the video, please give it a like, share it with friends, but likes and loves, greatly appreciated. So that is what the deadlift is, hip hinge. Now, why I have these boxes? Because you may not have a Olympic bar at home. You may not have access to a gym at home. So these are all things you can do at home in your comfort, right? So if you don't have boxes, if you have a stool, if you have something that is lower, let's say a little bit lower than your knee level, right? It's tables, right? Whatever that is. So all you're gonna do is you wanna put the boxes or whatever you may have directly on your side. And I have dumbbells here, right? And what I'm going to do is focus on hinging at the hips. All right, hold the dumbbells nice and tight. Focus on hinging at the hips. Driving my hips forward. Hinging at the hips. Driving my hips forward. Now you notice I'm breathing, right? And I'm exhaling that breath. When I'm going down, Now this is going to work really the full body. But it's also going to work that core as well. It's going to help keep you stable in this area, your hamstrings, your back, your arms. It's going to keep everything nice and tight. This, I have 15-pound dumbbells. You may want to start off with 10s. Do not go with 5s. That's pointless. This is not ballets. This is not step classes, right? You want to do something that's going to make you work, make you sweat, but also, ladies, keep in mind your heart rate, right? So once you get to maybe the 2nd or 3rd trimester, the heart rate is very important. Doctor will tell you. Again, always check with your doctor. Your doctor will tell you what they recommend your heart rate stay under, right? So when you do these are going to elevate your heart rate if you do them correctly, but just make sure you're breathing. Now I'm just lowering down to the box. And again, I'm keeping my core engaged. All these are going to help keep that core nice and tight, because during pregnancy, I think sometimes women forget that core is very important. And if you can make that birth process a little bit smoother, I'm sure you would like to do that, right? If you can make that process 10 minutes sooner, an hour sooner, that'd be great. So these exercises will hopefully help you keep that core tight during your pregnancy. And then after your pregnancy, you won't end up having that, hopefully, I can't guarantee, can't promise, but hopefully you won't end up having that diastasis recti, which I talked about in our last video. If you didn't watch it, go back and watch it on our Facebook page. It's a great video, gives you some great tools. Now, the last one we're going to go into is the farmer's walk, right? Now, farmer's walk is simply, all you're doing is you're lying on your internal external obliques, right? That core here, right? To keep you from wobbling side to side, right? So and you can walk as far, honestly, maybe start with 20 or 30 feet maybe, right? And the goal is, again, I'm gonna use the dumbbells. When you're holding these, keeping the core nice and tight, bring your shoulder blades back, and all you're doing is taking those steps. Now, again, weight-wise, you wanna use a weight. Oops, I almost killed myself. Weight-wise, you wanna use a weight that you're comfortable with, but it's also a challenge. So when you're taking those steps, right? It's challenging you to stop. You don't want to lean to one, lean to the other. Now, how can you make it a little bit more? You can go one-sided, right? You can go one-sided and just focus on walking with that weight in that one side. Because now what's happening is, because the weight is all on this side wants to kind of fall down to the here, right? It wants to fall this way, but you want to keep it nice and steady. So therefore, even though you may not think it's doing anything, ladies, I promise you, it is. Because when you're taking those steps, this side has to work from wanting to go this way, right? This side has to work from wanting to go this way. Now, another way you can modify it, change it up, is you can take that same weight, bring it here, right? So all you did was raise the weight from a lower center point of gravity to a higher center point of gravity, and then do that same walk, keeping that core tight. You can also extend it, same thing, keeping that core tight and walking back and forth, right? How far you walk, that's completely up to you. Again, you can, I would say 20 to 30 feet, and then you can always, dumbbells, you can use, if you don't have dumbbells, ladies, there has to be something in your house you can grab onto. If you have 2 gallons of milk, perfect, use that. If you have, I'm trying to think what most people have in their house. 2 gallons of milk, great. Something that has weight to it you can hold on to, right? But again, you can go to Walmart and get dumbbells you can get 10s. I think you can get 10-pound dumbbells for, I want to say $7, $8 a piece. You can get 12 pounds for about $10 a piece. You can get 15 pounds for about $12 a piece. So if you really want to and you can always use them, right? So if you really want to kind of help this along the way, you can take, let's see, 16, 26. You can take $50, order you a resistance band off Amazon for 10, and take other $40, get you a pair of 10 or 12, 15-pound dumbbells. And these you're going to always use because you can do at-home workouts with them, all right? So, again, I'm going to go back to the board here just to go what I covered, right? And again, so you can watch this video, and hopefully you ladies who are currently going through a pregnancy, what we just went over, you will know exactly what to do, right? So, went through the 3 core exercises I demonstrated to help you keeping that core tight during your pregnancies, if you just found out, or even if you're a little further along. We went through the Woodshop, went through bird dog, and went through prone plank. Again, these are all exercises you can do at home. You don't need special equipment for them. You need to go to a gym for them. These are all things you can do at home. The 3 strength movements I demonstrated were the standing row. I showed you 3 different variations. I showed you a modified deadlift using something that's elevated. and then I showed you farmer's walks, right? All 6 of these exercises, they're not crunching, they're not leg raises, they're not bicycles. They're simply keeping that core tight and engaged, all right? So if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and love. I definitely appreciate it. Share with other women who are going through pregnancy. And if it's any guys watching this video, hey, get your wife, say, hey, honey, I saw this video, this guy was showing exercises doing the core while you're pregnancy, maybe you should check it out. Because at the end of the day, I really feel all moms have that same goal. When you find out your pregnancy, yes, you're excited. Yes, you're happy. But in the back of your mind, you're like, my body, what's gonna happen to it? Like my core, like my stomach, I don't want that mom pouch. Yes, and I get it, you're excited, but you know you have that in the back of your head. So if you watch video 1 of how to deal with the post-pregnancy, of how, if you have that condition of diastasis recti, how to deal with that, exercises for that one. And video 2 is during the pregnancy. When you find out these exercises you can do during your pregnancy, as always, disclaimer ladies, make sure you check with your doctor first and you get the okay from them. Because if you are high risk, he may recommend you do something differently. But if he says, hey, great, go ahead, do those, then do them consistently, ladies. Do them consistently. If you're asking how many reps, X, Y, and Z, I would say start off with, let's say you do 3 sets of 10 reps on each one. Woodshops, 10 to each side, 3 sets. Bird dogs, 10 raises each hand. Prone plank, hold the prone plank. If you can't start off with holding it for 20 seconds, work way up to 30 seconds, then 40 seconds, right? Anything around a minute, that should be enough. Anything more than that is just exaggerated, right? For you, pregnancy, you don't want to push it too hard. You want to keep your heart rate under control, breathing under control. So I would say no more than a minute on that prone plank, all right? For the standing row, same thing. 10 reps each way, 10 reps, 3 sets of 10. That modified deadlift that I showed you, based off your weight, that one, again, 10 reps and start from there and see how you feel. And same for the farmer's walk, down and back 20, 30 feet, maybe walk 30 feet that way, 30 feet back, that's 1 set. So, ladies, I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, give it a like, love, share with friends that you know. And that's all I got for you, ladies. Hope you enjoyed. Bye.